Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everybody to this pep talk this afternoon. Please mute yourself, but always show your video picture. Sign in your name, your Facebook account, or email address in the chat box. Please include the names of companions attending with you. Use the chat box to ask questions and make comments while the pep talk is on. There will be group pictures at the start and end of the pep talk, so please show your faces in the video. A reminder after the pep talk is to take the online learning cum evaluation test exercise for mastery of learning and have a perfect score to get a certificate like the one shown here. I have placed the link in the chat box. Another reminder, obtaining 25 OLETE certificates will entitle one mentee to a voucher for a R.O. Hoson medical consultation, either face-to-face or telemedical. Another request, please type in your feedback in the chat box during the open forum before we adjourn. Thank you. So let's now have a group picture taking before we start the pep talk proper in 2 minutes. Please turn on your video and show your faces. Okay. Get set. Ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3. I have a patient empowerment program in which I'd like to empower the lay people or patients to take control in the management of their health. I started the pep talk on May 15, 2021 during the COVID-19 pandemic. There are 3 courses in the pep talk. I completed the core course on October 9, 2021. And then from October 23, 2021 onwards, I've been tackling health disorder and health issue courses. May 18 this year, 2024, marks the start of year 4. So this is our 4th year of the R.O. Hoson pep talk. How long the pep talk will last will depend on our enthusiasm, discipline, and perseverance. My pep talk today is entitled Medical Anecdotal Report, Goiter, R.O. Hoson Way of Management. The empowerment objective is for the lay people to have an essential understanding on Goiter, R.O. Hoson Way of Management, number 1. So this is the first of a case of a series. The number denotes that there will be other coming up. Okay, it will be a series. Okay. So essential understanding on how I manage patients with goiter as part of your health management. The contents of this pep talk will be the following. First, I will be defining what is a medical anecdotal report, and then I'll be narrating the report, the anecdotes, and then I will give insight reflection from the MAR. So the title of the MAR will be Goiter, R.O. Hoson Way of Management, number 1. The R.O. Hoson pep talk contains my thoughts, perceptions, opinions, and recommendations culled from the experiences of myself and also the writings of other health professionals. So let's start with a short definition of what is a medical anecdotal report. It's operationally defined by myself as a brief written report on an actual medical event or an actual patient. So this is a real happening, okay? Patient treated by me, Okay, so the medical observation must have an impact on the reporter, which is me, in terms of an insight gained in which the reporter thinks is worth sharing with other people, usually for learning purpose. So I had some insight when I treat this patient, and then I would like to share this insight to you for your learning purposes. Okay? So the MAR will have two parts, narration, and then an insight or reflection from the MAR. So here is a summary of the anecdote or the case. A 37-year-old Filipina consulted me with a neck mass, bukol sa leeg, which turned out to be a goiter. I will show you how I managed the patient. And from 2017 to 2024, that's 7 years. So the last checkup was on October 2024, just last month. So in the process of narrating the MAR, I will show you the R.O. Hoson way of managing goiter, which may differ from other physicians' way. So which may differ. Okay. I will also give some tips on the medical management of patients with goiter. So other contents will be the following. Some reflections and learning points and issues will be the following. R. Ohoson minimalist approach and management of a patient. Importance of follow-up, vigilant, watchful waiting, and patience, tiyaga in managing a patient. For the goiter, specifically colloid adenoma, medical treatment can be effectively done. So I will be discussing this. And then I will tell you to be beware of TIRADS, TIRADS readings in the ultrasound of the thyroid. These are the main four learning points and issues that I'll be discussing with you. So let's start with the narration. IS, a 37-year-old Filipina, consulted me on August 1, 2017 for a neck mass which was noted in July 2017. So 1 month prior, she saw me 1 month prior to consultation. So there was no prior consult with other physicians. So my way of managing a patient with a patient like this who presents with a neck mass, I usually ask whether there were consults with other physicians or not before me. If there is or are, and if there are laboratory tests done, I usually will not look at them first. So that's my style. I would do my clinical examination first with emphasis on doing the physical examination and tell the patients my findings and clinical diagnosis. Thereafter, I will look at the lab test to validate my findings and to make the needed adjustment based on the laboratory findings. So in this patient, there was no prior consult, so I went straight to examining the patients. So right away, I did a physical examination on her neck. With her, I usually ask a patient with a goiter or thyroid problem. Okay, ask her to sit down, and then I will stand at the back and then palpate her neck as illustrated here. So I don't usually ask a lot of questions before I do my physical examination. I usually ask only the following essential questions prior to examination. The age, because the age might give me some clues as to the diagnosis. What was her concern for the consult? When was it noted? I will not be asking when it started. I would ask the question when it was noted by the patient. So there's a difference between noted and started. It's impossible to know when a particular health concern started. Okay. What's more practical is to know when it was noted. So then I ask them, Are there consults with other physicians? So these are the essential four or five questions that I usually ask. Then I go directly to the physical examinations. So I'll be asking more questions later on when I do my physical examinations, because my physical examinations will also give me some clues as to the diagnosis. If I need to ask more questions related to the diagnosis, then I will ask the patients more questions. So my physical examination showed there was a thyroid nodule on the right side, about 2 centimeter, discrete. It moves with swallowing, movable, with no neck nodes, walang kulani, with a pulse rate of 68 per minute. So shown here is the actual record of the patient, which we have preserved. Okay. So my way is that I usually do a minimum or focused physical examination of the thyroid, which includes the thyroid gland itself. Ito yung gitna, the thyroid gland. Ito yung korte ng thyroid gland sa lahat ng tao. And then the lateral neck is the side because I want to check kung may lymph nodes, and then the pulse rate. So yan ang 3 essential areas that I examine on my focus examination. On the thyroid, what I usually try to determine, habang kinakapa ko, I try to determine whether it's diffusely enlarged or with nodules. Nodules, may mga bukol-bukol. Diffusely enlarged, walang bukol, pero parang namamaga. No? Okay. So and then I also check the lateral neck for neck nodes, lymph nodes. No? And then the pulse rate, I usually try to determine whether it's 90 or more or less than 90. So yan ang cut-off ko. So ito yung magiging possible interpretation ko, guidelines ko in interpreting what I'm going to find or what I saw, what I see in the patient. If there are nodules, then I try to see whether it's solitary, isa lang, or multiple, marami, no? Or more than one. And then I also check the location of the nodules. Then after that, I determine the characteristics of each nodule. Kung dalawang nodule, I do examination with 2 nodules. Kung tatlo, or kung isa lang. Then I determine the size, kung ano size in terms of centimeters. And then, ito, may 2 centimeters. And then the cystic or solid. Okay. And then whether the consistency, whether it's hard or not hard. Okay. And then whether it's fixed or not. Ito, movable. Okay. So ito yung algorithm na ginagamit ko, no, in trying to make a diagnosis of a patient with a thyroid problem or a goiter. Okay. So kung diffuse enlargement ang nakapako, this will be my alert sign for either hyperthyroidism or hypothyroidism. Okay. So walang pinag-uusapan na cancer dito kung diffuse, no? Pinag-uusapan dito, meron bang hyperthyroidism or hypothyroidism? Or normal, pwede din normal. Ha? Okay. So, but ito yung tinatanong palagi. Kasi when we say diffuse enlargement, may problema. Baka the patient is having hyperthyroid or hypothyroid. But a lot of times, when you have diffuse enlargement, pwede ding normal ang thyroid function test niya, which we call euthyroidism, spelled as EUTHYROIDSIM, euthyroidism. Kung nakapako yung mga bukol-bukol, nodules, then I use this as alert signs for either cancer or not cancer. I start asking that question. Kung may nodules, cancer ba ito o hindi? Yung pulse rate naman, how I use the pulse rate, if it's less than 90 per minute, I usually conclude that most likely the patient is not hyperthyroid. Okay. Usually, euthyroidism, or sometimes it may be hypothyroidism. But usually in my practice, hypothyroidism is not that common. No? So kung less than 90, usually euthyroidism. At 90 or more, okay, per minute, then I start suspecting hyperthyroidism. So I might do some laboratory tests like the FT4 and TSH. Now, as to the nodules naman, pag kinakapa ko yung nodules, no, I look for this, yung mga alert signs for cancer. Kung walang alert signs of cancer, I will probably say that most likely it's benign. So by elimination, hahanapin ko muna yung mga alert signs for cancer. So what are the alert signs for cancer? Hard, matigas. No? Matigas as halos katigas ng isang buto. Okay? Solid, ibig sabihin walang fluid. No? Then fixed, hindi siya gumagalaw. Okay? Then kung may skin involvement, kung nakadikit na sa balat, then kung may hoarseness. So these are the signs of alert signs for cancer dun sa bukol mismo. No? Okay. Then, titingnan ko kung may lymph nodes. Kung may lymph nodes sa neck, most like I will be thinking of possible of probable cancer. And then, kung meron siyang bukol sa malayo sa leeg, no, but suspicious for metastasis spread, then I will start thinking also of cancer. No? Kasi yung thyroid cancer can have an instance in which mag-i-spread yun sa malayong parte ng katawan. Example will be the skull, sa bones, sa lungs, gano'n. So kung meron akong suspicion na may bukol sa labas, no? So titingnan ko muna if it's suspicious for metastasis, spread of I will be thinking of thyroid cancer. So these are the alert signs, the minimum alert signs that I look for. Kung one of these is present, then I start suspecting thyroid cancer. Kung wala naman, I will settle myself for benign nodules, no? Especially if it's cystic. Pag may fluid, pag isang bukol sa yung thyroid nodule ay mukhang cystic, cystic means parang pag pinipindot, lumulubog, no? So may fluid, most likely benign siya. Okay. So to say, to reinforce that it's really benign, first of all, walang signals for cancer, and then kung nakapako yung bukol ay talagang cystic, then I would say that 99% benign siya. So ito yung the records of the patient. Okay, so since nodules ang nakapako, okay, sa right side, so I told the patient it's now a toss-up between cancer or not cancer. So that's part of my medical recording and also explanation of with the patient, for the patient. No? Okay. So sasabihin ko sa kanya, may nakapa akong bukol. Okay? Ang next question tatanungin, cancer ba siya or not cancer? So itong pasyente nito, so she is not hyperthyroid because the pulse rate is below 90 per minute. Okay, 68 lang siya rito. It's nodule, may bukol sa right side. So the question is thyroid cancer or not? Since there are no signals for cancer, so I settled for not cancer, most likely benign. So yan ang proseso. No? So not hyperthyroid because of the pulse rate, then nodule siya, walang signals for cancer. So therefore, I conclude that most likely, when I say primary, it's the number one probability, yung most probable. No? Okay. So when you say secondary, kung di tama yung primary, yung backup mo will be yung secondary. Your secondary diagnosis will be yung kabaliktaran ng benign. So it should be cancer. No? So sa ngayon, it's based on the findings, most likely the nodule was benign. So after that, I discussed with her the need for a diagnostic test on the nodule because the degree of certainty was about 90% only. I like to increase the degree of certainty before deciding on the treatment. As much as possible, kung pwede, itataas ko up to 99%. Hindi 100%. I don't aim to achieve 100% because it's unrealistic. There's no such thing as 100% in medicine. So the options that I considered for the diagnostic test are the following: needle evaluation and aspiration biopsy and ultrasound of the thyroid. Okay. So ito yung part of the records in which I discussed with the patient. No? So, okay, yung options na diagnostic test, needle evaluation, and aspiration. Then I tell, I told her ano yung mga pros and cons, no? And then sabi ko, may 90% yield naman siya, accuracy, so mas okay ito, no? The possible option here will be ultrasound. So after discussing the pros and cons with the patient, I let the patient choose, and then pinili niya needle evaluation with aspiration biopsy. So pag pinili niya ito, I let them sign here that they chose this particular option. Okay? So needle evaluation with aspiration was done. Ginawa ko sa clinic ko right there and then. So 2 cc of dark brown fluid was obtained, followed by complete disappearance of the mass. So nawala yung bukol. Okay, just nakuha ko lang 2 cc of the fluid. So I did not submit the specimen for biopsy anymore as it was not needed because I had a diagnosis of benign already. Okay, I'm quite sure that it was benign. So I don't need to have it biopsied. Kung may duda ako, then I submit a specimen for the biopsy. So here in the actual records, you can see that I obtained 2 cc of dark brown colloid fluid with complete disappearance of the mass. So after the needle biopsy, my diagnosis now will be more specific now, not just benign, but more specific in terms of a name of a disease. I call it colloid cyst or nodule, right thyroid lobe. I'm now 99% certain. Kasi nakita ko na yung fluid at completely nawala na siya. No? So 99% sure na ako. So I recommended medical suppressive therapy, okay, using levothyroxine because from my experience, it is very effective. And then I told her there was no need for an operation and no need for other tests. Ito. So recommendations, medical suppressive therapy. I started her on levothyroxine, 100 microgram per day. Then I asked her to come back after 2 weeks for a follow-up. So after 2 weeks, there was a recurrence. Bumalik yung bukol niya kasi after the aspiration, nawala. Okay, but smaller in size than the original size of 2 centimeter to 1.5. But this is expected. No? Kasi 2 weeks pa lang, the medicine has not taken effect yet. No? So usually after the aspiration, sinasabi ko rin sa pasyente, pwedeng kahit na nawala na on aspiration, pag-uwi niya, baka lumobo ulit. No? Kasi hindi pa umi-epekto yung gamot. No? So after 2 weeks of levothyroxine, I decided to increase the dosage to 200 microgram per day. At yun, no? In-increase ko na. Then after 2 months of 200 microgram per day of levothyroxine, there was still no decrease in the size. So hindi lumiit. So we decided to observe for another month. So ang approach ko, ang game plans ko will be vigilant, watchful, waiting, and patience. Pagtyagaan lang, no? Maghintay lang. No? Vigilant, watchful, waiting, and patience. No? So there was a plan kung pagbalik niya, okay, pag wala pa rin response, I might increase the dosage. No? Or do a reaspiration. Okay. So after another month with no decrease in the size of the mass, I decided to increase the dosage to 300 microgram per day. Ito, 1 tablet 3 times a day na. No? I increase it to 300 microgram. Again, with no decrease in the size of the mass despite the increase to 300 microgram, after 3 months of increased dosage, I decided to do a second aspiration on February 2018. So then I was able to obtain a minimal amount of colloid fluid. And I decided to change the brand of the levothyroxine from Tidine to L-Troxine. I was thinking baka hindi hiyang ng pasyente yung Tidine, baka mas maganda yung L-Troxine. So after 1 year, so itong tiyagaan ng follow-up, watchful waiting, after 1 year of levothyroxine with no improvement in the size, I decided to bring down the dosage na. Binabaan ko na, sabi ko, ay baka hindi nandiliit ito, no? So, maintain ko na lang sa mas mababa, no? Okay. So, no significant change in the size at 12 months na nasa levothyroxine, no? Tinicrease ko na sa, binabaan ko sa 200 from 300. I asked her to come back after 2 months, but 16 months after, there was decrease in the size na. 16 months, okay, to about 1 centimeter. So from 2 to 1.5, now naging 1 centimeter na ngayon. So I just maintained the dosage at 200 microgram per day. Then 19 months after, there was further decrease, lumit pa further, okay, to a size of 0.5 centimeter. So, but I still maintain the dosage of the levothyroxine at 200 microgram. 19 months after, lumit pa to 0.5. Okay. So, minantain ko sa 200. Then 23 to 24 months after, so that's about 2 years after, the mass had completely nawala na, completely dissolved. So this time, I now reduce the dosage to 100 microgram per day. So I just requested for an ultrasound to verify kung talagang tama yung talagang nawala na. Okay. So February 2020, before the pandemic, 4 months after the disappearance of the mass on October 9, 2019, there was still no palpable mass. I maintained the levothyroxine at 100 microgram. I also requested for an ultrasound, ultrasound of the thyroid. So the ultrasound showed on February 2020, okay, reduction of the original palpable 2 centimeter right thyroid nodule presented to me in August 2017, that was 2.5 years before, and found were only very, very small, sub-centimeter means less than 1 centimeter, nodules on the right and left lobe. So note, however, all the nodules were given thyroid 4 scores, moderately suspicious for malignancy. So the question is, what did I do with this? First time namin nagpa-ultrasound, lumit nga yung mga bukol niya, pero meron siya mga thyroids na description na nakakatakot naman. Moderately suspicious for malignancy. Ang nakita natin, lumiliit yung mga bukol, usually we say it's talagang benign siya. Pero sa ultrasound, binabasahan ko siya ng moderately mga suspicious for cancer. So I have to reconcile this and explain this to the patient. March 7, 2020, after the ultrasound, so this is before the COVID lockdown, I just advised her to continue the levothyroxine for 1 year with a plan to reduce the dosage to 50 microgram per day. So I advised her not to be bothered by the thyroid scoring, yung mga nakakatakot na thyroid scoring. My diagnosis still maintained, benign multiple colloid adenomatous goiter. I call it multiple now because sa ultrasound, meron pang ibang maliliit na bukol sa kanan at sa kaliwa. Kaya multiple colloid adenomatous goiter. After the COVID-19 pandemic, so that was in 2022, August, we now have a face-to-face checkup. She had discontinued the levothyroxine in 2021 for more than 1.5 years because may nafe-feel niya, may tachycardia siya, mabilis ang heart rate niya. Okay. So, but physical examination showed walang palpable na bukol. In short, there was no recurrence even after stopping the medicine. So since this was about 2 years after the last checkup, I recommended a repeat ultrasound. Okay. So the repeat ultrasound showed in September 2022, we compared that with the 2020, the last one that she had, is still with the sub-centimeter nodule, no increase in size and numbers, but still with the thyroid 4 scoring. So at this time, I decided to reduce the levothyroxine to 50 microgram per day. mas mababa na. Okay? January 24, 2023, she came for follow-up. Still no palpable nodule at levothyroxine at 50 microgram per day. However, the ultrasound results still showed thyroid 4 score, but this time only 3 nodules left. Ang original number was 4, ngayon 3 na lang. So, but despite the thyroid 4 scoring, I maintained my diagnosis, multiple colloid adenomatous goiter. Benign pa rin. So, ito yung ultrasound in 2023, still with sub-centimeter nodules, no increase in size, but 1 nodule less from the 2022 ultrasound. But again, nakikita nyo, may thyroid 4 pa rin ang scoring, which creates some anxiety for the patient. So June 20, 2023, she came for follow-up. Still no palpable thyroid nodule at levothyroxine 50 microgram per day. The ultrasound showed different readings from previous ones. So sa right lobe, naging 2 nodules, 1 TR1, buwaba na, di siya TR4. Okay? But the other one, TR5, mas nakakatakot. TR5 was highly suspicious. So there was no mention of the left nodule. Ito yun, actual results of the June 2023. So may thyroids 5, mas nakakatakot ngayon compared to the thyroids 4. Pero wala na minention na left nodule. So despite all these reports statements of in the report of the ultrasound, I still maintain my diagnosis at multiple colloid adenomatous goiter. So I advise the patient not to worry on the TR5 scoring. Okay. Just continue watchful waiting, continue next self-examination, continue the levothyroxine at 50 micrograms per day, and then check up after 3 months. So this was the latest checkup with me last month, October 8, 2024. So that was 7 years after the initial consult with me in 2017, 7 years. So no palpable thyroid nodules since 2020. So that was the time when the thyroid nodule was not palpable anymore. Okay. So she was now 4 years in remission. Hindi siya umulit. So I maintain her levothyroxine at 50 microgram per day. So then I advise surveillance. Surveillance means we keep on monitoring. Okay. So we will just do self-monitoring by the patient and then medical checkup with me. So the latest ultrasound done in 2024, October 8. So may mga iba na naman ang reading, no? So sa left side, instead of 2, naging 1 na lang. Buti na lang, walang thyroid scoring this time. No? So I'm happy without thyroid scoring kasi nakaka-create ng anxiety siya. No? So that's the end of the narration up to the up to October 2024. So let me have a recap of this particular case. A 37-year-old Filipina consulted me with a neck mass which turned out to be a goiter. I have shown you how I managed the patient from 2017 to 2024. That's 7 years. The last checkup was on October 2024. I have shown you how I dealt with the ultrasound findings, particularly on the thyroid scoring. I have shown you the effectivity of levothyroxine in the treatment of colloid nodules. So some reflections and learning points and issues. I will be discussing this one by one. Okay, the first one, my way of medical management, I would call it minimalist and vigilant, watchful waiting approach, promoting value-based health services and patient experience. So this is my brand of managing patients. So when you say minimalist, as a minimalist physician, I usually do only what is required or essential in the medical management And I do things only as simple as possible, but I still produce these good results and quality outcomes. And I rely heavily on my physical examination, ikapako, and interview for symptoms for a diagnosis. So notice my efficient way of doing relevant and focused history. When you say history, it's practically the same as interviewing the patient and then physical examination. Usually I can finish it within 2 to 5 minutes. Okay? I can already formulate a clinical diagnosis by examining the patients. Okay? And then I do diagnostic tests only when needed. In case diagnostic tests will be done, I choose the simplest, the most cost-effective ones. I use a benefit risk cost availability comparison of all diagnostic options for the selection. I advise the patients on the selection to get an informed consent, resulting in a shared decision making, which contributes to patient's experience. So dinidiscuss ko sa pasyente, tell them the pros and cons of everything, and then get their decision. And then, of course, sometimes they will ask me to assist them, so I assist them. Then whatever decision that we make, it will be a shared decision making. So notice that I did not order for thyroid function test in FT4, FT3, FTSH at the very start. Unlike in other doctors, no, the other doctors are doing is routine yan, FT4, FT3, TSH, palagi meron yan. No? My clinical diagnosis told me they were not needed kasi ang diagnosis ko is not hyperthyroid. The patient is not, I was not suspecting hyperthyroidism. Ang concern ko is whether bukol is cancer or not. So FT4, TSH, and FT3 are almost always ordered by other physicians, usually left and right. I only ordered for the ultrasound of the thyroid 2.5 years after disappearance of the mass. The reason why I ordered for that, because I just wanted to verify the resolution of the mass. Kung talagang tama ako na wala na bukol. Huh? So in retrospect, I should not have ordered it as it led to more confusing and anxiety reports. So this is the lesson I learned here. Probably I should I should modulate my ordering of ultrasound kasi maraming mga problems that will be associated with ultrasound study. When I did the needle evaluation and aspiration, I did not submit a specimen for biopsy. There was no need as I was certain of the diagnosis of colloid cyst and colloid goiter after obtaining 2 cc of colloid fluid and the mass completely disappeared. Once you have these findings, this scenario, this pattern of obtaining fluid and the mass completely disappeared, your diagnosis is colloid cyst or colloid nodule. 99% of the time, you will be correct. So there's no need for submitting the specimen for biopsy anymore. For treatment, I choose the simplest and cost-effective ones. I use a benefit risk cost availability comparison of all treatment options for the selections. I advise the patients on the selection to get an informed consent resulting in a shared decision-making, against which will contribute to patient's delight, patient's experience. So in this particular patient, I recommended medical suppressive therapy and not operation, but it is the most cost-effective treatment for the colloid goiter of the patient. This minimalist with vigilant watchful waiting usually results in value-based healthcare services for patients, meaning appropriate siya, effective siya, and safe. Okay? So safe healthcare services with good results and quality outcomes and at reasonable cost. Okay? Importante yung vigilant, watchful waiting. Kung merong vigilant means pag merong napuna tayo na may pagbabago, well, then we change our strategy right away. So wala tayong takot na mahuhuli sa gamutan. So this is my way of managing patient. Okay. Minimalist with vigilant, watchful waiting, resulting in value-based healthcare services, contributes to patient experience. So patient was satisfied and contented with my management as manifested by at least by her 7 years of retaining me as a physician. So tumagal siya ng 7 years sa akin, so may tiwala siya sa akin. So importance of follow-up, vigilant, watchful waiting, and patience in managing patient. So patient was being followed up with vigilant, watchful waiting, and patience. It took 16 months before positive response to medical suppressive therapy appeared. I had to adjust the dosage, giving the highest dose possible, then reduce it as indicated. Then I had to change the brand of the medicine. I had to do a second needle aspiration. So after about 2 years, the mass completely dissolved. Thanks God. Okay, this is a result of praying and hoping. So that shows the importance of follow-up, vigilant, watchful waiting, and tiyaga, patience, no, in managing a patient. Now, the third issue here, reflection, is for the goiter, specifically colloid adenoma or colloid goiter, medical treatment can be effectively done. So that's my stand. So this more illustrates the effectiveness of levothyroxine in decreasing the size of colloid adenoma. A lot of physicians have a mindset that medical treatment is not effective for colloid adenoma or goiter. Thus, there's the frequent recommendations, paopera ka na, paopera ka na. Okay? Kasi hindi effective yung mga gamot. In my personal experience, more than 90% will respond to medical suppressive therapy as long as the nodules are less than 10 centimeters, then with the right dosage. Importante yung dosage. No? There is patience pagtiyaga as the treatment is of long duration. The nodules, I have to clarify this, the nodules will not completely disappear, but they will decrease in size to the point there is no need for operation for cosmetic reasons. At least lumiit siya, no? Na hindi na malaki to the size na kailangan tanggalin kasi pangit tingnan. No? Now, fourth issue here, beware of the thyroid's reading in the ultrasound of the thyroid. A lot of thyroid ultrasound reports contain thyroid scoring. Thyroid stands for Thyroid Imaging, Reporting, and Data System. In my personal experience, I find them unreliable. I usually look at them with a grain of salt and will accept them only if they jibe with my clinical findings, and frequently they don't. So different ultrasonographers will have different scoring, causing confusion to clinicians and patients alike. So this is another complex mga hitches that we find when we do ultrasounds. Iba-iba yung mga scoring. Okay? Thyroids cause unwarranted anxiety because of the phrase, palagi may ginagamit, suspicious for malignancy. Okay. So pag thyroid 3 ka, thyroid 4, usually ang ginagawa niya, mildly suspicious, moderately suspicious. So these are the most commonly reported. Kung thyroid 5 ka, highly suspicious naman. Okay? So in this particular patients, may thyroid 5 siya, may thyroid 4 siya. Okay? Despite yung sinasabi ko sa pasyente na benign siya, pero yung report sa ultrasound, may thyroid 4, may thyroid 5. So usually matatakot na yung pasyente because of the phrase, suspicious for malignancy. So which is better for patients to hear? Clinically, chances are you have multiple colloid adenomatous goiter. There is only a small chance you have a cancer or concomitant cancer. So this is a statement which I usually tell the patient. No? So you compare it to yung mga interpretation, implications ng ultrasound. Sa ultrasound, pag may nakita ka mga thyroids, sabihin, you have multiple nodules on your ultrasound. Some are mildly suspicious. Some are moderately suspicious for cancer. So you compare the two statements. No? So I suppose you will agree with me. Yung first one ay mas maganda. Okay? Mas hindi naman nakakatakot, at least. Okay. So that's my last slide. So I have presented in this pep talk the following definition of medical anecdotal report. I have narrated a patient, now showing my way of managing a patient. Okay. So this is just the first of a series. Then in the future, I'll be presenting another kind of patients, probably with a different problem. Okay. Recap. 37-year-old Filipina consulted me with a neck mass, which turned out to be a goiter. I've shown you how I managed the patient for 7 years. I've shown you how I dealt with the ultrasound findings, particularly on the thyroid scoring. I've shown you the effectiveness of levothyroxine in the treatment of colloid nodules. And I have given you some tips on making decisions in the management of goiter. So I have discussed these learning issues. So takeaway in relation to patient empowerment, be always in touch with reliable medical information on goiter. Know the R.O. Hawson way of management, which may differ from other physicians' way. Knowledge is power. It gives power. Use the 4Ks of patient empowerment, kaalaman, kakayanan, karapatan, and kapangyarihan to gain greater control over decisions and make better decisions on the management of goiter as part of your health management. So this ends my pep talk today. I hope I have empowered you to have an essential understanding on how I manage goiter. Okay. So before we go to the question open forum, reminder, please take the Olete. I have placed the link in the chat box. And then 25 Olete certificates obtaining this number will entitle one mentee to a voucher for a R.O. Hawson medical consultation, either face-to-face or telemedical. And then please type in your feedback in the chat box during the open forum and before we adjourn. So let's now have a group picture taking before we start the QA portion. Okay, get set. All show your beautiful faces. Wala na. Okay. Sorry na lang yung nahuli. 1, 2. Okay. So the floor is now open for questions, comments, sharing of experience, consultations, pwede rin. Okay? Anybody? Yung mga may thyroid dyan, pwedeng mag-share o pwedeng magtanong. As we know, it's just like, sorry, mostly in medicine, it's hard to understand a lot of things sa medicine, no? So, kaya I'm offering this pep talk para mas maintindihan ninyo, no? Para ma-explain sa inyo, no? Especially those who were treated by me, this will reinforce my explanation which I give during the consultation, no? So during the consultation, di ko kayo bibigyan ng 1 oras, 2 oras to explain everything. No? Yan, nire-reinforce ko na lang dito. No? Okay. Any questions? Shoot. Raise your hands. If you want to ask a question, raise your hands. Okay. Imelda, you're trying to raise your hands? Unmute yourself. Nahirapan si Imelda sa laptop, sa ano niya. Bumabaliktad, no? Unmute. Unmute. Hindi kita maririnig.
Yes,
Yan.
Doc.
Yan. Good.
Doc, my question is, how accurate is the needle aspiration without the aid of any machine? I mean, yung pag-locate po nung nodule na i-aspirate siya.
Okay, in general, first, as needle aspiration per se, without the help of some gadget, no?
Yes.
In general, more than 90% yield siya. More than
Okay.
90%. So, just like any laboratory test, 90% ang cut-off naman yan eh. Kung ang mga laboratory test ay less than 90, usually hindi tinatanggap yan eh, hindi ginagawa, no? Now, yung
Okay.
needle aspiration, kung kapang-kapa no? Basta marunong gumawa yung physician, ang pwedeng gumawa dyan, actually dati-dati is surgeon kami, general surgeon, no? Later on, ENT, yung
Mhm.
ENT. Later on, pathologist gumagawa rin, no? Kasi sila
Mhm.
nagbabasa, gumagawa rin sila. And then, the other one is
Okay, yes,
endocrinologist.
sir.
So, apat, no? Okay. So pagkapangkapa na, usually pwedeng wala ng ultrasound guided. Okay?
Okay.
Pag masyadong maliit na kailangan i-biopsy, then they need to do the ultrasound. Okay?
Mm. Okay.
Okay. So anong concern mo?
Ah, so Doc, yung palang manual need aspiration, pagkapangkapa na. And
Kapangkapa, pwedeng gawin, parang ako, sanay na ako dito sa needle aspiration. Kasi in
okay.
1985, ako ang I did a lot of needle aspiration. Wala pa yung mga, hindi pa popular yung ultrasound guided. Diba?
Okay.
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 Ngayon, naging popular yung mga ultrasound guided. Kahit nakapangka pa, ang ginagawa ng ibang doktor, ina-ultrasound pa rin nila.
Sorry. Eh,
Uh,
dagdag cost po yun.
yeah, added cost, no?
Mm.
Strictly speaking, mas accurate siya kasi may guide, na. Pero
Okay.
konti lang ang difference. Basta magaling ang gumawa na surgeon, na. Okay.
Okay.
So you don't expect the endocrinologist to do
Yes.
the needle aspiration without the ultrasound. Okay.
Mhm.
Ay isa pa pala, panglima, yung mga radiologists, yung gumagawa ng ultrasound, they can also do it. Kasi sila may
Ah,
hawak ng machine eh. Di ba?
okay.
May hawak ng machine. Pero nowadays, pumapayag na yung sa isang hospital, yung endocrinologist pwedeng gumamit ng ultrasound nila para ma-biopsy. Na? Dati-dati, turfing yan eh. Yung radiologist lang pwedeng gumawa kasi silang may-ari ng ultrasound. Di ba?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Doc.
Nakuha mo, may mga politics din niya sa
Sa
business din yan.
hospital. Okay. Doc, another question po.
Sure.
Another question.
Ah,
Let's say for example, yung patient nag-perform siya ng needle aspiration. Yung po bang result 10 years ago will be the same kung yung current o i-advise na doctor to do another round of needle aspiration?
yes and no. Can be the same, I mean, when you say the same, yung result will be the same. It will not, di siya magbabago. Di ba? Yung naka-hard copy yun eh. Di ba? May
Yes
official
po.
result. Pero ang question is, at present, kung ano yung diagnosis mo ngayon, will it be the same as the biopsy before o may bagong development na? Baka mas
Okay.
lumaki na ang bukol mo ngayon, pwedeng
Okay.
baka iba ang diagnosis. Pwedeng cancer, pwedeng pa rin pareho, lumaki lang, ganon. So,
Oo.
it's very important that at the present moment, no, kakapain pa rin ng doktor. Evaluate pa rin, no? Then to
Okay.
decide whether to repeat or not, no?
Okay.
Okay? Pero importante yung may wrong records na dati. Bibigay mo sa doktor mo para
Mm.
makita niya yung history mo. No? Okay?
Okay.
So pag sinabing benign at sa kapa niya, benign pa rin, so pwedeng hindi na niya ulitin. So sabihin niya, most likely pareho lang yan. No?
Wala.
Pero pag
Okay.
may nakapa siya, let's say ngayon, may kulani
Solid.
na, no? Baka may duda na siya, baka cancer, papaulit na lang, papaulit niya kung kailangan. Ha? Kasi
Okay.
you don't have to do needle biopsy all the time naman eh. Okay.
Okay.
May mga
Okay.
pasyente na sa kapalang malalaman mo na kung anong meron, na? Okay. So
Okay.
depende sa doktor 'yon, ha? Depende sa doktor kung sinong magaling na clinicians na just by looking alam nila, just by palpating alam nila, na? Okay?
Okay. Okay, Doc. Okay,
Okay?
thank you, Doc.
You're
Thank you, Doc.
welcome. Ulitin mo. You didn't
Ano
get a
po?
perfect score. Gumawa ka ng macrosis, ulitin mo, madali lang, 20 items lang 'yon para maano ka. Bigyan kita ng certificate. Nakita ko yung thank you for trying.
Yeah, 3 mistakes po ba o 5 mistakes ako?
Ulitin mo lang, ulitin mo kagad.
Ulitin mo.
Maraming
Ah,
basta pag hindi mo na perfect, ulitin mo kagad, makukuha mo na. Huwag mo
okay. Sige,
patagalin
Doc.
ng 1 day, 2 days.
Yung pala mali ako doon. Sige, Doc.
Ah, okay, para
Okay, thank you po.
may certificate ka na.
Okay, sige, Doc. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you for attending, Imelda.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Who wants to share their experience? Who wants to validate my lecture today? Who wants to validate? Si Cash. Cash, are you still there? Ano pangalan ni Cash? Jennifer? Cash Matagkel? Cash, are you there? You sure? Nakataas ba yung kamay mo? Anyway, so yung mga may thyroid, if you want to ask questions, no? Okay. Maraming may thyroid sa inyo dyan eh. Si Jeng may thyroid. Si Belet may thyroid. Si Ellen may thyroid before. Ngayon wala na daw. No? Sino pa? Si Cass meron. Alam ko si Cass meron. No? Okay. Are there questions? May questions? O Jeng, ikaw mag-share. Konting sharing nga. Para ano. Gusto ko marinig yung mga ano niya, mga boses ninyo. Jeng?
Alam po, Dok. May hinihintay kasi ako text doctor na may magpapatanong dapat sa inyo. Hindi pa nagre-reply kung ano yung patatanong sa inyo tungkol sa thyroid.
Hindi mo pina-attend dito.
O nga po, Dok, sabi ko nga po, umattend, may pinuntahan po, sabi ko, mag-text ka agad kung ano, kasi magmalapit na po tayo mag-Q&A. Kaya po nag-aantabay din ako sa kanyang text ngayon, nawawala pa.
Wala pa. Anyway, basahin na lang niyo yung aking yung proceedings, no? Okay, pwede
Ano
naman,
na lang
no?
po, sabi ko po nga, meron naman pong, naka-record naman po yung ating PEP Talk, kaya pwede naman po niyang mapanood.
Yeah, pwede.
I-share ko na lang po sa kanya yung link para po
Oo.
mapanood.
Okay, so that's one
Saka,
way
Dok,
of...
may ano rin ako sa inyo, may PM ako sa inyo kahapon. Yung may sinasabi po ako tungkol dun sa dati kong member sa, kaso sa breast naman. Na nakaapa siya ngayon, nakaapa siya ngayon siya nagkaroon ng sa breast doctor.
Okay.
Sayang nga po, sabi ko, sana kung sa breast ang ating iaano ko sa inyo dapat itatanong ko.
Sige. Titingnan ko mamaya. Okay. Okay. At ano na si Cash? Cash, wala kang, hindi ka napasama sa picture.
Palalagay ko lang yung webcam.
May tanong ka? Narinig mo yung pep talk ko? Baka natutulog ka.
Hindi po, nakikinig po ako, Dok. Pwede niyo akong tanongin, kaya ko sagutin. Ano po, magandang hapon po sa lahat.
Okay.
May naisip po akong itatanong, Dok.
Sige.
Kasi one time may nakausap po ako na ang sabi sa akin ay hindi naman daw reliable yung needle aspiration, lalo pag marami daw nodules yung isang patient.
Kung
Maraming nodules yung isang patient daw. Kasi possible naman daw kasi na yung nakuha na sample dun sa needle aspiration ay benign. Paano yung ibang nodules? Yun ang sabi, Doc. Tama ba yun, Doc?
In a way, it's true. It's true kasi pag multiple nodules, unless aspirate niya lahat. Di ba? Kasi pag maraming nodules, may isa dyan, benign, isa, yung marami, kasi kadalasan baka malignant isa, isa benign. Eh kung inaspirate na niya yung benign, hindi niya na-aspirate yung may cancer, di, mali siya, di ba? Mali, di ba? Okay. So usually pag multiple nodules, I usually medyo alangan ako mag-aspirate unless yung isang nodules niyo matigas na matigas, nag-stand out, then yun i-aspirate ko. No? Yung ganon. No? Okay. So, in a way, tama yun. Kasi multiple nodules, kasi kung gusto mong malaman talaga kung ano talaga siya, lahat i-aspirate mo. Kaya lang, masakit yun. Di ba? So, you just go by probability, based on prevalence, no? Yung frequency. Pag yung multiple nodules, yung maraming nodules, malaking chance na benign. Okay, yan ang sasabihin ko siya. Ito yung bago, ha? Bago ko natuto na rin ito na pwede ko kayong i-convince. No? Kasi ang trabaho ko ngayon is to convince kayo mga pasyente na huwag kayong matakot kagad kasi walang nagsasabi sa kasi lahat kayo takot na di ba? Kung may thyroid na. Pag multiple nodules, malaki chance na benign. Di ba? Ang usually isipan ng mga lay people, kahit na ako dati, di ba? Maraming bukol nakakatakot. Di ba? Tama? Pag marami. Pag solid, pag isa, yan ang nakakatakot. No? Hira kasi yung cancer na magiging 2, 3, 5, gano'n. Bihira. Posible pero bihira. Mas common yung yung benign na marami. Parang pimples. Maraming pimples yun doon. Okay, benign lang siya. Okay? So, probably ipopost ko yan sa sa Facebook ko yan. That's another na-discover that I have to tell the public na para hindi sila matakot. Na.
Maraming
Tama?
salamat po daw.
Imelda, tama ba yung sinasabi ko? Pag nakita mo, marami nakakatakot. Ganun din sa breast, ha? Yung sa breast, ganun din. Pag masakit, natatakot. Pero pag hindi masakit, hindi natatakot. Baliktad. Pag sa breast, pag hindi masakit, mas nakakatakot. Pag masakit, hindi nakakatakot. Baka inflammation lang yan. Baka may may infection. Okay? Kasi marami ding pasyente na kasi hindi masakit. Hindi kasi masakit, kaya hindi ko pinapatingin sa doktor. Pero konting sakit lang, punta sa doktor. Di ba? Kahit na walang bukol, ay masakit ang breast ko, punta sa doktor. Kaya they ended up with a lot of ultrasound. Diba? Ang dami nilang ultrasound ginagawa, di ba? Okay, tandaan nila niya yung mga what do you call that? Yung mga guidelines sa medicine, pag solitary ang sa thyroid, mas nakakatakot, higher incidence na cancer. Higher ha, hindi lahat ha. And then compared to multiple na maraming bukol. Ha? Okay? Sa breast, ganun din. Pag sa breast, masakit, mas hindi nakakatakot, mas maganda. Okay? Kasi most likely hindi siya cancer. No? Pero kung breast, bukol na hindi masakit, yan ang nakakatakot. Okay? Sige, mamaya ipopost ko yan. That's added, parang learning vignette. Okay? Anything else, Kath?
Wala na po, Doc. See you
Sige.
on Tuesday, Doc.
Okay, Tuesday.
Follow up
Sige.
ko po. Opo.
Sige.
Opo.
Okay. So, wala nang tanong. We can still have one more questions.
Doc, ako po.
Si Belet, okay.
Doc, ang
Okay.
inyo pong
Pakita
diagnosis
mo yung
sa
mukha
akin
mo.
ay...
Pakita mo yung mukha mo.
Doc, ang diagnosis niyo sa akin ay dati ay multiple adenomatous goiter din. Bibinigyan niyo po ako ng 200 microgram ng levothyroxine.
Okay.
After nung makainom ako ng 3 to 4 months na lumiit. Tapos binago niyo yung dosage, ginawa yung 150. Tapos lumiit po siya ng kaunti. Tapos after 5 months naman ako ay parang nag-complain sa inyo, sabi ko yung mga side effect, namamayat ako. Tapos sabi niyo sadyang gano'n. Tapos pinalitan niyo ng 100. Tapos nung ako nagpa-ultrasound ulit, medyo lumaki naman ng konti yung nodules. So, ang ginawa niya, binalik na ulit niya sa 150. Tapos yung huli ko nga yung pa-ultrasound, yun hong kalimitan sa mga dimension ay lumiit. Pero meron hong isang lumaki. Yung right mid-pole pa ho pa yun. Yun ho, medyo lumaki na kaunti. Yung left mid-pole. Medyo lumaki
Okay.
siya ng kaunti. Pero the rest ho, lumiit na siya. Anong
Okay.
ibig sabihin kaya ng doc?
Anong ibig sabihin? Anong ibig sabihin ng ibig sabihin sa tanong mo?
Ibig kong sabihin, bakit po yung iba lumiit, merong isang part na lumaki?
Okay. Ganon ang takbo ng sakit ng sakit lahat ng kahit anong klaseng sakit, but in particular yung multiple colloid adenomatous goiter, no? Kaya ganon din, na iba-iba yung takbo, ha? Iba-iba, no? Okay.
Mhm.
Parang ano yan hindi naman siya stagnant di ba? So
Mhm.
so we can start with the higher dose ng medicine, papaliitin, susubukan, so lumiit, di ba? And then pag lumiit pa, babawasan pa natin, di ba? Kasi we don't like to get into yung side effect na let's say pumapayat ka, di ba? Okay?
Oh.
Kaya ayaw na din natin mapunta doon, no? No? So we will try to titrate it in such to a dose na yung tamang-tama lang, yung wasto lang, ha? Kanang binabalance lang natin benefit and risk, no? And then every now and then, nagpapa-ultrasound ka, okay?
Mhm.
Kaya ako, nagdadalawang isip na ako no? Na kung how frequent should I ask my patient to have the ultrasound, no? Baka gagawin ko na lang, baka once every 6 months na lang, ganon. Kasi nakikita ko, ang daming iba-iba ang measurement, iba-ibang interpretation, no?
Opo.
Okay. Magre-rely na lang ako sa kapa ko. Baka mas mabuti pa nga, no? Sa kapa pa na lang, no? Kasi if you do an ultrasound, may i-report sa isang center, iba, punta ka sa ibang center, iba naman measurement, iba na naman, no? Okay? Nakakalito, di ba? Or pumunta ka sa isang center, iba yung ultrasonographer. Naka-duty yung isa na ginawa sa iyo last time, pero now hindi siya duty, iba naman, no? So iba na naman yung
Opo.
results, di ba? Nakakagulo, di ba? So huwag ka matakot as long as ang diagnosis mo is still benign. Okay? Doon ka mag-focus. Basta ang diagnosis mo is benign, huwag ka na matakot, no? So babantayan lang natin, no? Ang goal natin, huwag lang siya lumaki na malaking-malaki na kailangan operahan, no? Okay? So i-maintain lang natin yung gamot mo. Ilalaro natin mga 100, 200, o 150, ganon, no? I-monitor lang natin, no? Okay. So
Okay po.
looking at your neck, ipakita mo nga. Everybody, lahat, nakakahalata ba? Hindi naman, di ba?
Wala na.
Wala. So, pwede na yan. Maganda na yan. Okay?
Aha.
Be
Sige,
happy na.
Doc.
Be satisfied. Be satisfied.
Salamat
Okay?
po.
At least it's not cancer at hindi malaki na kailangan operahan. Okay na yan. Na?
Basta tuloy na lang po yung gamot.
Tuloy ang gamot, tuloy ang kapa ng sarili mo, at check up sa akin.
Sige po.
Okay? Tatlong bagay, ha? Tuloy ang gamot mo, kasi naranasan mo na yung binawasan mo, lumaki, di ba? Kaya i-maintain mo lang, wag mo tatanggalin. Okay? So, then,
Sige.
kapain mo yung sarili mo, pag may nakapa ka talaga, takbo ka agad sa akin. And then, ako rin, kakapain kita. Okay? Then, I will decide on the frequency of ultrasound. Sige, baka from now on, pag-aralan ko yung policy ko. Okay? Kasi habang nagbibigay ako ng lecture sa inyo, itong mga pasyente, yung MAR, yung iba-ibang kaso, nakikita ko nga, ang daming magulong ultrasound dito no?
Lalo't iba't iba kong pupuntahan
Iba-iba, no? Okay. At least ako may mga records ako, di ba? Na-present ko, actual records 'yan, di ba? So, because of
galing
that,
na ano pa niya yun, itago pa niya.
pero baka mawala natin. Kasi puno na yung ano, yung cabinet namin. Gusto ni Abet, itapon ko na lahat eh. Binabawasan na namin ang mga records namin. No? Okay.
Sige po,
Okay.
Doc. Salamat po. Isang araw ako magpapacheck up.
Sige.
December o kaya January.
Oo. Okay.
Sige po.
So, mag-attend kayo ng Cancer Crusaders Club.
Oo, attend po ako. Sige
Okay.
po. Thank
Attend
you.
kayo. Ha? Okay. So, okay. Kung wala nang tanong, we'll just call it a day. We'll see each other next week. No? Okay. So, we will have another session next week. Yung sa December, yung November 30, wala tayo kasi December 1 may Cancer Crusaders tayo. No? So, we will not have a pep talk on November 30. Instead, we will have the Cancer Crusaders Club on December 1. It's a Sunday yun. No? Okay. So, mag-attend kayo lahat. No? Maraming mga awards, may mga prizes doon. No? Okay. Okay? So, we'll see each other next week. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you po, Dok.
Thank you po.
Thank you po.
Thank you, Doc.
Okay. Bye-bye.